are a few occasions when cockiness can be a suitable trait to display, but believing too much in your own power and abilities can sometimes backfire. Athletes known as showboaters usually demonstrate a lack of respect for their opponents, and there are several instances in which arrogant combatants are humiliated by their more modest counterparts. Today, we're bringing you 10 moments when cocky fighters got owned. Number 10, Ben 10 versus the JACKAL. This video shows a pre-match photo shoot for a bout between Julien Rabot, aka Jules the JACKAL, and Ben Wen. With his belt on his shoulder, Rabot became a little overconfident when posing for these shots and tried to frighten Wen by getting in his face and pushing him away. As you can see, Wen maintains his composure, almost laughing at the attempts of his tattooed opponent to intimidate him. During the first round of their match, and in true superhero style, Wen quickly took Rabot down, smashing through the JACKAL's armor to deliver a knockout punch, and all in just 20 seconds. Number 9, Jaw of Defeat. Sadiri had been dominating his British opponent Sam Maxwell from the first round. He defeated Maxwell in the first, second, and third rounds, so understandably, the Frenchman anticipated success. Sadiri kept hitting Maxwell, taking the lead, which inflated his pride and made him overconfident. His greatest errors were insulting Maxwell and dancing around the ring. However, in the 10th round, an unexpected turn of events stunned the audience. Sadiri lowered his hands and made his chin vulnerable. Maxwell took advantage of Sadiri's error and delivered a powerful punch, knocking him out. Sam Maxwell's smash into Frenchman Sabri Sadiri snatched triumph back from the jaws of defeat. Number 8, Social Duty. Marcos Maidana is a WBA legend. In 2013, he stunned his fans by defeating Argentine showboat Adrian Broner. Marcos seized control of the battle and relentlessly pressed Adrian. With quick jabs, he brought down the Argentine, but Broner was unfazed. He mocked his opponent between strikes, and worse still, Broner inappropriately air humped Marcos. This upset Marcos and his fans. In the 8th round, Maidana replied with punches to the face. Spectators cheered when Maidana beat his overconfident opponent and dry humped him right back. When asked why he was so ferocious in the fight, Maidana replied that he had a social responsibility to shut down the showboater. Quite right. Number 7, Dishonorable Tactics Ego. Number 6, Reel of Shame. MMA is all about putting your life at risk when it comes to fight. Display magnificent knockouts repeatedly, but every now and then there's a climax that's so breathtaking and exciting that you can't help but marvel at it. Joe Harding fought Johan Sagas for the BC MMA featherweight title. Harding's strikes were strong and he seemed to have the edge. However, it was his flamboyance that really drew the attention of the public. For the duration of the contest, the British fighter alternated between bursts of dancing and punching. Karma finally caught up with him in the 3rd round when he continued to pull pranks. Even though Harding was in the middle of dancing, Sagas' head kick was perfectly timed to bring him down in the middle of the routine. Harding was knocked out cold and the battle ended. Maybe Harding should showcase some of his moves on Broadway? Number 5, Thumbs Up. At number 5, we have another cocky fighter, James Gallagher. The Irishman taunted his opponent during the weigh-ins, but this only added fuel to the fire. Gallagher's pre-fight trash talk irked several people as he kept insulting Bandejas before both of them appeared on stage to settle the score. The Strabanimal was quickly stopped by Bandejas, who acted swiftly and ruthlessly. Bandejas launched a ground assault in the first round with a flurry of strikes and kicks that knocked Gallagher out. The referee had to put a stop to the fight after 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Bandejas claims to have gotten tens of thousands of heartfelt congratulations following his victory over the presumptuous James Gallagher. Number 4, Mark 114. Who can forget Ryan Garcia's 5th round knockout of Braulio Rodriguez, the unbeaten lightweight from Victorville, California? At the weigh-in where he assaulted his opponent, Rodriguez clearly thought that he was better than Ryan Garcia. After a few punches from from Garcia, Rodriguez's arrogance reached its peak, and it was clear that he still believed that he was going to win the fight. After escaping a tricky grip, Garcia landed a hook that dropped Rodriguez flat on his backside. Unfazed, Rodriguez kept battling and started ducking punches. He stuck his head out and shuffled his feet, mimicking ringside announcer Sugar Ray Leonard. At one point, as he danced, he even poked out his tongue in mockery. It was, of course, a sham. Garcia ended the 10-round planned lightweight match with an overhand right that sent Rodriguez into the ropes and a round of punches, punctuated by a solid left to the forehead. Referee Lipton reached the count at the 114 mark. Next time, leave the childish gestures in the playgroup. Number 3, tough words. Before his bout with Iron Mike Tyson, Peter McNeely certainly had a lot to say. In front of an amused audience, he went so far as to present tasteless, cringeworthy slam poetry. He said,
"I'm Hurricane Peter McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass. But if you haven't made your pay-per-view arrangements yet, make them soon, because remember what happens when I wrap you in my cocoon."
This guy obviously thought that he was quite the showman. With the initial hook that knocked McNeely back 2 minutes into the first round, it was evident that Tyson was a superior boxer and that McNeely was fighting on borrowed time. No amount of tough talk could save him from the impending knockout. Maybe he has an even better career ahead of him as a poet? Perhaps not. Number 2, amateur night. Kickboxer with a smug attitude, Batter Harry was nothing but disrespectful to Peter Graham in the days leading up to the match. He insulted him by referring to him as an amateur, among other things. At the press conference, he refused to shake hands with Graham. Bad form. Later that day, during another press conference, Harry couldn't help but try to intimidate Graham by planting a kiss on his cheek, which resulted in the showboater being slammed to the floor. Graham's revenge continued in the ring as he made fast work of his proud combatant. A spinning heel kick from Graham quickly dispatched the overconfident Harry, who was taken to the hospital in an ambulance. Who was the real amateur in this situation? Number 1, War of the Influencers. Can you think of anything worse than a pair of YouTube superstars with even larger egos? The level of cockiness displayed by both KSI and Logan Paul when they first declared that they would fight just served to add to their rivalry even more than before. When their first bout ended in a disputed draw, it was decided that the two would meet in a rematch the following year. This merely provided both men with more than enough time to trash talk one another on a few social media platforms and to transform their news conference into a smack talk circus. Both combatants didn't exactly deliver on their promises though. Still, KSI managed to win on points against Logan Paul, who had projected that he would knock KSI out in mere seconds of the first round. Clearly, having a big mouth doesn't always pay off. Being self-confident is one thing, but being arrogant is quite another. While the former is essential for any prize fighter who has the guts to enter the ring, the latter is more often than not a shoddy display of verbal and physical bravado intended to mock and intimidate. Do you think these athletes' egos have been knocked down enough to make them think twice before pulling these types of stunts in the future? What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section below. Please hit the like button to let us know if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to Trend Loops and hit the bell icon so that you're notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching.